taste of love so sweet, I want it every day.
Sitting right across me, we have Joey with the IE and not EY.
Yes.
And is that the name that your parents, of course, obviously your parents came up with that name?
No,
But
I came up with it, and then I told them to name me Joey.
you changed your name?
Before I was born. No, I'm joking. They wanted to name me Joey.
Okay.
Before I was born, they thought I was a boy.
They thought you- okay.
Actually, the doctor saw my umbilical cord and thought it was a
Okay.
yeah.
A male part.
Yes. So they were preparing for a boy until about 2-3 months later, and then the doctor was like, "You know, you're having a girl, right?" So they came up with Joey, but I think they wanted Joie, which is French for joy,
Okay.
and they wanted my name to be like something that represented joy.
But Joey is actually a unisex name. I have friends who are, I have
Boyfriends who are Joey,
and female friends who are Joey as well.
Yeah, my boyfriend was telling me that in America most Joeys are male.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do
yeah.
have female friends.
But I
with
know so
Joey.
many Joeys who are female, so
Yeah. It's a unisex
it's
name.
unisex, yes.
Okay. I like the fact that you are bespectacled. Is that a real?
Yes, these are, I have astigmatism.
Okay. Oh,
So without them, I squint a lot.
you can't see.
I used to not wear them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because my nose bridge is pretty much non-existent.
Okay.
So they always fall down and I get really annoyed. But without them, I squint and then my eyesight just gets worse.
But why with the huge frame?
Why?
Yeah. Is it
These were $50 with
with
prescription, so I
okay.
just bought them anyway.
Yeah. I have you ever tried using contacts?
Yes, I blink a lot and then I look very annoyed because of dry eye.
I get intrigued with people who like to wear specs because most of my friends they wear contacts. They always tell me that I look better without specs, so they always pester me to wear contacts instead. But I've once tried, but I don't like poking. I don't
Okay.
like touching my eyes. So
Okay,
Yeah.
Putting it in is okay. It's taking it out that's what she said.
and you recently dyed your hair white.
I bleached it, yes.
You
I
bleached
bleached
it.
it twice.
Was that a very scary decision?
I feel like it was a long time coming. I've always wanted to bleach my hair, like be
Mhm.
blonde at least once in my lifetime, right? But
Okay.
it was always the pain and the commitment to the
Oh.
color that was making me very, very adamant about it. But I think, I was just like, you know what, let's just do it.
Is it still possible to go back to black?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
it
just
is.
bleach. To go back, I'll just have to add color on.
Okay,
Yeah.
pardon my ignorance.
no,
I've
it's
never
fine.
bleached my hair.
Oh, no.
If I ever came home with colored hair other than black, my parents would probably disown me.
Oh,
So
no.
they're the traditional people who
Okay.
relates dyed hair tattoos to rebellious people. Yeah. But times have changed. So
My grandfather as well. So you can imagine his, his shock and disbelief.
We are sitting right in a classroom,
Mm-hmm.
and you teach art in this classroom.
Yes, I teach art in this.
It's a private company.
A studio, art studio, and then you can sign up. But I would say yes, private in some ways. I guess, yeah.
So who applies for this art
Little
school?
kids.
Little kids.
Kids.
Oh,
I guess parents will apply for their kids.
Okay.
We have classes from kids from 4,
Mhm.
sometimes 3.5, but we have to assess the child before committing, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. But we have 4 to 12. And then
Okay.
after that, we try and encourage them to take themselves out of like a child classroom setting and then go
Mhm.
to like art jamming for adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about yourself. People know you through your music, mainly.
I think mainly, probably, through music.
Mm-hmm. What kind of music do you do?
I would say that my music is a blend of pop, jazz, and
Acoustic.
R&B.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly. I mean, I write mostly with just my guitar. I'm almost never writing on a piano, but also because of the portability of the
Oh,
guitar, I
yeah,
can just be
yeah.
on my bit, you know. But yeah, I would definitely say that I can't say that my music isn't pop because I listened to pop growing up.
Okay.
But I don't think I'd hear my songs on the radio because they're not really like pop radio
Okay.
friendly. So yeah, it would be a mixture of everything I listen to. Yeah.
Are you more of an artist or are you more of a musician?
artist.
You're more of an artist. Okay, art majority of your life is more.
Oh, artist as you mean like art.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I
okay.
meant.
No, because it was through LaSalle that I understood that there is a difference between being an artist and being a musician.
Okay.
You can be a performing artist without being a musician, because being a musician would mean that, like, literally a guitarist. You can be a guitarist, but you might not be an artist. You know what I
okay.
mean? So I would consider myself more of a singer-songwriter than a musician. I do play a guitar and I play like other instruments, right? But I feel like I'm not there skill-wise to call myself a musician a lot of the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's very hard because most of my musician friends who play instruments, they're very, very good at what they do.
They have grades, like, they had music grades.
To call myself a singer, yeah, I would be more likely to call myself a singer than call myself like a musician.
A musician.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, makes sense.
guess so.
And you mentioned you wanted to talk about failing O levels and then you pursued art.
Yes.
You went to LaSalle.
I went to LaSalle straight after taking my O levels,
Okay.
and I continued in LaSalle for about 5 years. So I did my diploma and then I continued with my...
How was that, like, failing your O levels? Your parents, I'm pretty sure they are supportive
Yes.
of, whatever you want to do in your
Yeah.
future. But what was the process like, planning ahead for the future?
I think I would say that the reason why I had such little regard for my O levels was because I found out very early on that you don't need results to go into LaSalle.
That's true.
So I just completely neglected my O levels and focused on making YouTube videos
And music.
throughout the examination period. And like I was like watching movies the night before papers. So I think it's something I definitely regret, because looking back, I could have used that time to add another skill set to my life. I could teach now, like give tuition to kids with my certification, right? But at the same time, I think it really proved to my parents and as well as myself that this was something that I was very passionate about, not on just like a hobby level, but I really wanted to make this
A career.
yeah.
Makes sense. Maybe if you have passed your O levels, the direction you have went off with your life would have been different. You probably wouldn't be here. So it's
Everything happens
Yeah,
for a reason.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's fate. Yeah. And what is this about doing yoga with your dog?
Oh, so I started out doing yoga. Like, okay, I was born Hindu. So yoga was something that I did with my family.
Okay.
We did it for a while.
Before
And
it was
then
very
It was
popular.
very touch and go. Yes, this
Okay.
was like when I was in primary school.
Okay.
Very, very touch and go. So yoga was something that I was hesitant to do. But then as I got into the idea of doing it, I really enjoyed it. And then I started to see that people were doing it with their dogs. And I have a dog, and she's not huge. So
Okay.
I wanted to just incorporate her into my yoga.
How many dogs do you have?
I have one dog.
Yeah, we have one dog. Okay.
She's a Maltipoo named Layla.
Layla. Okay. And how long have you had her?
I've had Layla for about 4 years now.
What kind of yoga does your dog do?
Oh no, it's more like acro yoga and then just putting her on me.
Okay.
Yeah, just balancing her while I get into a pose. Not so much that she's doing yoga. There are dogs who do it, but
She participates in whenever you're doing it.
I put her on me, yeah, basically, and then just make her like stay there, not panic. But there are people who train their dogs to do yoga.
I saw from some videos there like beer yoga and all that.
There's like chicken nugget yoga.
Chicken nugget yoga. Okay. So you mentioned you are Hindu.
I was Hindu.
You was born
Yes.
you was born Hindu, but you are Christian now.
I don't have a religion that I not any like organized religion that I identify with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on religion?
I think it is necessary for a lot of people, and I understand and respect that. Having been a very pious Hindu and then a Christian, and then now from where I'm standing, I feel like I don't need a religion to be spiritual, and my spiritual journey is my own. So, yeah, I believe in a higher being. I believe that there must have been someone for all of this to happen around us. Everything that happens, like what we see every day, just the fact that we're here, we kind of like owe it to a higher being. But I don't believe that it is just one. Like, I believe that Allah, Jesus, Buddha, they're all ways that you can seek a higher being,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them are actually one. Like that's
One
how I
entity.
see it. Like
Okay.
one. It's like if I'm hungry and you're hungry, I'll take sushi and you'll take a burger. We still both like get like full,
Uh-huh.
and that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, we have a special question from your good friend Fauzi Aziz.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Okay.
he mentioned. I told him that I was doing a podcast with you, and his question to you is, do you love him?
Whew. You're putting this in?
Yeah.
On a very PC level, I love Fauzi. I think he's an acceptable human being and not a complete waste of space. But on a non-podcast level, I hate him. No, but I'm joking. I think Fauzi's great. I think Fauzi's really, really great.
How did
Yes, I
your
love Fauzi.
involvement with the Smart Local came about? Do you know him beforehand?
I didn't know Fauzi beforehand. I knew one of his colleagues. She's
Okay.
already left, so I
Okay.
shall not mention her.
All right.
But she invited me to come on the show to do a few songs. So I went down to the old studio, very old shop house in the Geylang area. I think it's Geylang. And then I just sat on a couch. They recorded me, and then the staff were like sitting down in front, and I was just singing. And that's when I got to know them. And then I went back again for Singaporeans Try this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay. Let's talk more about your music journey.
mhm.
When do you realize that you've had a passion for music or singing?
I think very early on. My dad plays the guitar, my
Mhm.
mom plays the piano, and they both sing. So I kind of grew up with music around me. We did it religiously in the temple when we were growing up. So my
Mhm.
dad would write songs in English because most of the songs that we sang they were all in Sanskrit. I used to sing in the temple as well, and I would sing like the prayers and the chants. And then it slowly evolved into taking on one song for the main sessions. And then singing songs that my dad wrote. So songwriting was also something that I grew up with because my dad wrote songs. And actually remember recording a song in the studio when I was younger for a CD.
Okay.
And then, so yeah, the whole process of recording and like making music wasn't foreign to me. And I think because that was the case, it didn't seem like anything impossible. Yeah, I didn't look at it as, because I understand that for a lot of kids, like if you say that you want to be a singer, automatically they think being a singer means a successful singer, like one that makes like Billboard charts, right? But you don't really need to be like a successful singer to be a singer. So I think I didn't really want to be like a super like mega star, but I wanted to sing.
Wanted to sing.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you still remember who was your first favorite singer?
Hilary Duff and Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, okay.
Two of them for sure, yeah.
Back then, internet wasn't that big, right? So
Disney Channel.
Disney Channel. Okay.
Hilary Duff was through Disney Channel because she had the Lizzie McGuire show.
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie she sang as well. And then Kelly Clarkson was through MTV.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot that you are 22 years old. So you're not. Are you you're not a 90s kid?
95.
95. Okay,
Yes.
95.
So in the middle, I still can
Yeah.
call myself a 90s,
90s
kid,
kids.
kind of.
Okay. How many songs or music have you created?
I am in the midst of recording my album,
Mhm.
and 10 of them will be
Oh.
in the album. So it's a long LP, not EP,
Okay.
full length album, 10 songs.
Have you
They're all written and they're all
No, as in
recorded.
have you told anyone what's the name of the album yet?
No.
Okay, so we shall not. Okay, we shall leave it there.
I don't even know what I'm naming the album.
Oh, you
so-
okay? So you haven't planned.
It might be
It's still
self-titled.
it's still in the
I
process.
think it's
yet?
self-titled. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
This is your first.
This is my first
proper
album, yes.
How did that came about?
I think it's same thing, very long time coming. I've been postponing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But also I feel like it was because I felt like the songs weren't ready. A lot of the songs, two of the songs in the album were only written like this year. So I think I'm happy that I am where I am now, in a good place with my music, that I feel happy and ready to release it. I feel like I'll never be 100% ready because
Mhm.
you'll always feel a little bit about your work.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
you
You're
won't
more
feel
critical.
completely-
You're
yeah,
more
you're very
critical.
critical of yourself. So, but I feel like I am less critical than I was last year and the year before, and I feel more ready to share.
Do you think it's important for artists to accept themselves before they start to let others accept their work? Because like for you, like you said, you are critical about what you post out. But you know, in order for people to accept your music, you have to first be, you know, to believe in your music yourself.
I feel like the fact that you are putting your music out there, it must show that you believe in your music at least. Like, you believe in it enough to know that it is ready for public consumption. But it is very natural to feel like it might not be good enough.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, the beauty of it is that you're sharing your life story. And a lot of times the songs that people write are about pain and about things that they can't even talk about to their closest of friends. But when they sing it,
you can express it.
Yeah, you can express it. Or even like write it in a book or poetry. Like art in general is such an amazing way of expression. I feel like, yeah. There's a lot of flaws in there, but that's what makes it your art.
What's the contents of the lyrics?
Cheese.
Sorry?
So cheesy.
So cheesy.
I feel like I write very cheesy songs.
Is it about you yourself? Like, you know, your life experiences and all that?
No. So I've always wanted to write stuff like that, but I've never been able to express it from that point of view. Most of my songs, when I write like I'm writing a letter to someone. And usually that someone is that person that I'm writing the song about, or who that song was inspired by, or just a proclamation of how I'm feeling. So it's always about love. It will always come back to love, be it romantic or not.
There's also one subject everyone can relate to.
Love.
You know, love.
Yes, yeah.
Let's walk through the process of how you approach music. Do you write the lyrics first, or do you usually prepare the music?
People always ask everyone this, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like my answer is so stupid. They both come to me at the same time.
Okay. No.
It's always like that. Like people always say like it's so hard to write, right? It is very hard for me to force write, but when it comes to me, it is like a breeze because it comes to me with
at the same time
melody and words, and then I just need to get to my guitar, get the chords out, and then I'm done with the song.
Okay.
But those moments happen rarely, not as often.
How do you usually get inspired?
It always happens in the shower.
Shower.
Yeah, it always happens in the shower for me. I almost never go into the shower like I'm gonna write a song today. But sometimes I always sing. I like to talk to myself a lot. I think that's how I stay sane. I talk to myself a lot and kind of like just process the day or some thoughts that I have in the back of my mind just to release them. And then sometimes as I'm like singing my thoughts, then they just come out like a song.
I guess maybe shower is the only probably quality time you have for yourself.
With
where
yourself,
where you decompress,
Yes.
you know, from your
Yeah.
daily activities and,
Yeah.
and all that. So I guess that's when, you know, your creative juices starts to
flow.
and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's interesting. So artists out there, take more showers.
Yes,
Secret to music.
to writing songs.
You mentioned that sometimes you write music to people.
Like songs as letters to people.
And also, I understand that you have a relationship with someone overseas. Okay. So how long have you been with him?
Coming end December will be a year.
Okay.
It'll
And
be a year.
where is he staying right now?
He's in the US.
How hard is it for you juggling work and relationship at the same time? And you know, the fact that it's long distance
right?
relationship. I'm pretty sure a lot of girls or guys can relate to this, where they have, you know, their other half, you know, elsewhere, and they barely have any sliver of time to spend with them, considering FaceTime or WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, FaceTime, Skype.
Yeah, Skype.
Yeah.
Okay, so how hard is that with a person staying overseas?
I feel like we're very lucky in that we are just about 13 hours away from each other.
Okay.
Like time wise. So right now it's like 3:30, right? It's like 2:30 in the morning for him. So I'm doing stuff in the day that I need to focus on, and he's sleeping. So there's no time missed. And then as I'm about to end my day, that's when he starts his day. So we get to talk then, and then he goes about doing his stuff, and then I sleep. So we both have the freedom to do what we want in the day. And then at the end and in the beginning, we spend it with each other. Okay. So I think we're very lucky in that works out for us, because we don't really, it's not like, you know, for some people in the UK to Singapore is like right now would be the time to talk. And you're in the middle of the day. So it kind of gets a little bit like disorientating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that definitely helps. Also, I guess understanding that communication is really important. Like, I've always been a firm believer in that relationships can only work out with good communication and understanding one another on every level possible. And I think I established that very early on, that communication is very important to me. Even if we over communicate sometimes, it's better to be 100% sure of where your partner is emotionally and just in every aspect, as compared to like assuming, because assuming starts fights always.
Doubts.
Almost always. Assuming causes like misunderstandings, and then plus the time difference. Sometimes you get like tired, or you're either tired or you're stressed out, or yeah, it's hard when you're not physically together to talk things out.
How many times do you Skype or FaceTime in one day?
At least twice.
At least twice.
Yeah, so
Okay.
one in the morning, one at night. Sometimes when we both get really busy, then it's just once a day.
Is that like phone bills?
No, because Wi-Fi.
I mean, you're not always in Wi-Fi situations.
Thankfully, with my plan, I'm okay.
What's that new? Is that what you use?
Yes, the
Circle?
unlimited. No, I'm not using Circles. I'm using StarHub.
Okay, StarHub.
Shout
What?
out StarHub.
StarHub.
I use this plan that gives me 23 gigs a month,
Okay.
and on weekends it's unlimited. So I can afford to go crazy on weekdays, because weekends.
I'm pretty sure there's definitely has been struggling moments.
Oh yes.
So let's talk about how you cope with that.
It does get difficult, because sometimes, even when things aren't bad, sometimes when things are good, you just want to spend time with the other person, but it's physically impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to if your partner was in the same country as you are, you can just take like a cab or a bus to see that person, even if it's far away, like, and you just both make that midnight sacrifice. You spend late night together, but it's impossible here, so that sucks. Even if things are going good, it will suck still, because you're not physically together. And then if things get bad, like you're fighting or you're having a bad day, you kind of feed off of one another, especially if you're in a relationship. I feel like, relationship or not, you feed off of one another's energy as is, right? So I think it's amplified when you're with someone that you are very close to, and it does get tough because that's the only time that you have together. So I think talking it out, like I said, like we talk it out a lot, and eventually we come to like a decision or like an understanding, and then things get better. Then we just look forward to the next time we get to see each other.
I'm pretty sure your friends and your family are very supportive of your decision.
To be in a long distance relationship?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, they are very, very supportive. But at the same time, I don't know if the support would. Yeah, no, yes. Thinking aloud. I'm just thinking aloud, like, would it matter if they didn't, like, if they hated that I was in a relationship with him? I think it helps that, if I'm down, they're always there to listen to me and give me advice or just be an ear. But it has never gotten to a point where, they're like, I think this isn't for you. Yeah.
And you're visiting him soon?
Yes,
Yeah.
next Saturday. Coming,
Next Saturday.
like, 6 days.
Yes, that's very fun flying to US. How many times do you visit him per year?
So I met him for the first time in February.
Mm-hmm.
We met online, and then February was when I flew over. We spent a week together, and then June was the second time. So this time will be the third time.
Other than US, where else in the world have you been for holidays?
Ooh. Okay, so I've been to the US, I've been to Australia,
Mm-hmm.
India, China, Vietnam, Thailand, Korea, Japan.
You've covered a lot of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, Southeast Asia pretty much
Mm-hmm.
done. India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Yeah, actually most of Southeast Asia I've done. Moving out would be just Australia and US.
Which place do you enjoy yourself the most?
Australia or US.
Is it the weather?
Weather, people, lifestyle,
Very chill.
very, very, very chill.
Yeah.
Everything that I saw around me, I just felt really good about. Yeah, I just really love Sydney, especially. I love Sydney a lot.
Yeah, I've been to Sydney once.
It's great, right?
It's great.
So
It can be hot, but it's not humid.
it's not humid. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
so
dry
it's-
heat,
yes.
which I really like.
Yeah, and it feels good. It's not like the piercing hot sun where.
Yeah, you don't feel sticky. Yeah.
Exactly. Once you are done with your album, are you going to promote your album with a lot of live performances?
I would hope so. So that's what we're planning for. And yeah, I'll be having an album launch in February
Okay.
on the 28th. I'll release my album on my birthday on the 20th.
Okay.
And then a week later
Happy
will be
birthday
the
in advance.
Thanks. And then a week later will be the launch, which I hope, which will be great, which I'm actually very excited for, because I get to share the music live and talk to people and thank them for buying the album and, you know,
Okay.
meet people. And then, yeah, I would hope that live shows will come. And then very exciting next step would be moving to New York in June or July.
Okay. Where can people await the news of your album? Like for more information, is it your
Instagram.
Instagram? Okay.
Instagram.
Which
I should be
is
more active on Facebook, but I'm not really.
at Joey Tan.
Yes,
Joie Tan. Tan is a very common name.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. What? This is- okay, I didn't know where I was going there.
No,
Yeah.
my mom actually said when she was younger that she would never marry a Tan.
But
And then
that-
she ended up marrying a
And
Tan.
your dad is a Tan.
Yes,
And how many siblings do you have?
I'm the only child.
You're the only child.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel being the only child?
Great.
Do you feel like sometimes there are moments where you want to have a older
Yes.
sister or
Because
older-
then I can share clothes with a sister.
Mm.
I wanted a younger sister growing up because I wanted to play with hair. I wanted to tie her hair, dress her up for very superficial reasons.
Mm.
But
But you have a dog now.
thinking about thinking about it also, I think I'm happy to be the only child. I don't really have to share a lot with people. Privacy at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who grew up like sharing a room with their sibling.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to share the love of your parents.
Yes, attention in the
Attention.
family.
Yeah.
No, but also, I mean, I grew up, sometimes actually, people always ask, do you ever want like more friends? You feel lonely at home? I would spend a lot of time with my domestic helper.
Mm-hmm.
So like we ended up being very close,
Mm.
and I forced her to play dress up with me growing up.
What about your tattoos? How many tattoos do you have?
If I'm not wrong, it's 16 small ones. Like they're
Okay.
they're all pretty
Scattered
small.
elsewhere.
Yeah, they're
We have
scattered.
feathers. We have a fish. Is that a shark?
That's a hammerhead shark.
And what's the one under? Is that a shrimp?
No, this is a claw like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a claw. The first one I got was a cross.
Which is your first tattoo?
Yeah, the cross right here.
Oh, cross.
Cross was my first tattoo.
Okay.
And then the second tattoo I got was the lotus behind my ear.
Okay.
There's a small lotus behind my ear here.
Oh,
Then I got the mushroom and the sun and the moon on my ankles.
on the leg.
Yeah. And then after that, it just...
It's just small tattoos elsewhere.
Yeah.
But you still have
Everywhere,
plenty
like-
of space.
I think I'm done.
You're done?
I feel like I went a little too far already.
How old were you when you got your first tattoo? You're 22, right? So
I'm 22. I think I was 20.
Oh, that was only 2 years ago. But
Yeah.
essentially, you just got the cross, right? Just to it's a small.
To ease my parents into it.
Okay,
I
and then you
think-
slowly. they
honestly,
slowly
I
got
only
accepted.
wanted the cross. I didn't see myself getting any other tattoos.
Mhm.
And then after I got the cross, I was like, hey, it's not that painful. Then I just went on a
Oh,
rampage.
but
Yeah.
each individual tattoo means something to you.
Yes.
There's like the feather, the shark.
The feather, not so much. Actually, okay, so the cross I got because there's this thing that I used to do. I still do sometimes out of habit. Before I sing, I say a short prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Really quickly to address the gifts that God has blessed me with and to thank Him for the opportunity that I have to share it with people, and also so that I don't mess up on stage. It's just like a quick prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has now become just looking at my cross really quickly, and then I the prayer said, like, I feel assured that, you know, I've done it. So if I don't see my cross sometimes, I feel like this performance is gonna like flop.
It's very interesting. Okay, let's talk a bit more about your live performances.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably done a lot of that, performing live.
A fair bit, yeah. I
Mhm.
would say I've done a
And
fair bit.
where do you usually most perform at?
They're all everywhere. Like
Have
I
you
just
done-
did one today.
Have you done Baby's?
Yes, I did Baby's this year for the first time.
Okay.
I did it in the concourse,
Mm-hmm.
which was very fun. Always wanted to do like an Esplanade festival. My first like legit gig in my books was Y-Fest at Esplanade.
Y-Fest?
Yes,
Okay.
a youth fest.
U-Fest, yeah.
Yeah, so they call it Y-Fest. Most of the people there, they all found on YouTube. So it was giving youths in Singapore a platform to perform like from the internet to live. Yeah, and when I got the email from Esplanade, and then they were saying they're going to pay Like I was like, whoa, wait, what? Like I performed at Esplanade,
You,
and then
you wouldn't
I
mind
get
doing it
paid.
for free.
Yeah, because
But-
to me, it made me like a legit musician.
Mm.
Yeah, at that point in time, I was like, oh my god, I get paid? Really?
How was it like performing in front of a lot of people?
Extremely nerve-wracking. I still get very nervous when I play shows. When I do shows like what I just did just now, which is like more top 40s, singing covers and stuff, I enjoy it a lot. Almost never nervous. Like I look forward to it because I get to sing songs that I like, right? But when it comes to performing my original music, then I always get extremely nervous.
Do you try to talk with the crowd and try to connect with them?
Try to, yeah.
Try to.
Sometimes I say things that I probably shouldn't on stage because I'm just a ball of nerves. But I think it's fun, I guess. I don't know.
What would your advice be for young musicians who
Mhm.
tells you that they want to pursue music? You know, but obviously for you, despite doing an album or that, but it's not your full-time job, right?
Mm.
Yeah, you do work as an art teacher, to get a bit of income.
Mhm.
But for a young artist who wants to do it full-time,
Mhm.
what would your advice be to them?
I would say just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to
What people say?
connect with other people and what people say, of course.
Mm-hmm.
If you're afraid to perform in public, maybe start online. Instagram is a very efficient way of sharing music. It's very easy for people to share your video with other people through DM.
Mhm.
Now the function is really, really efficient. I think it's great that you can play music like that. I found Umar Sirhan through Instagram, another singer-songwriter, Buttlicks. Vivian, she's amazing, and we found her on Instagram as well. I say we as in Lewis and I. We found her, and then we were like sharing her videos back and forth in a little group that we have. So I think it's great. Instagram is definitely great, and you don't even need to show your face if you're not ready. I started out on YouTube with an eraser over my webcam, and like that's my video, black. But of course, people are less likely to check it out if it's black. But yeah, SoundCloud is another way to share your music, and you can just share it with your friends. Like before, I was very, very scared to make it public, so I would send the link to my friend. No face. I went under a moniker like Wheat Rainbows,
Mm-hmm.
so there was no trace of Joey in there. And then I sent them to my friends and asked them like, "Hey, what do you think of this girl?" Then I got feedback,
And then they were like, "Oh,
and
that girl."
I remember my friend saying, "I want to marry her," and then I was like, "Oh really?" And then I said, "That's really weird because that's me," and he said, "I take it back." but it's only through that then you know how they feel. Because if you're like, "Hey, I sang this, can you let me know what you think?" There will always be that. Yeah,
they'll be
not
sugar-coated.
blatant. Yeah, it will be sugar coated, and
Mhm.
sometimes that's not what you need.
Mm-hmm.
So ask friends that you trust, not friends that you think will just give you what you want to hear. Sometimes family members do that.
Mhm.
So ask friends. The open mics available everywhere across Singapore now. Open mics are great to connect with people, not only share and get like discovered by people, but to meet like-minded individuals that you can then collaborate with. Yeah, I know some people who met some of their best friends now through open mics, and I think it's great.
Okay, and also you shouldn't let one bad experience deter your love for music.
Yeah.
It's trial by fire. You
Yes.
have to learn and get
Yeah.
and improve over time.
Oh my god, I have said like horrible things on stage that I feel like if I really let that get to me, I wouldn't be singing still.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really bad.
but it's at the end of the day you are still an artist, and you want to show your music to the world. And I
Mm.
think most importantly, despite whatever mistakes, people appreciate your music
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just finally, it's very good that you are living your dream. You've always wanted to sing since you were young.
Mhm.
Despite all the roadblocks and all that, you are here singing, making an album.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and really looking forward to listen to your album and music.
Me too. I
Me
can't wait
too.
to hear it too. Haven't heard it.
Yes, please follow Joey Tan. It's at JOIE Tan. It's not very difficult to spell out.
TAN.
TAN, yeah.
Yes.
And we are at podcast number 6.
Oh, great.
Yes. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.